Good morning. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning and we're back once again with a fresh edition of Breakfast Show. You're watching DD India. I'm Preeti. With me is Nancy. And in the next 1 hour, we'll get you through everything that's making it to the headlines. We'll get you national headlines. We'll get you international updates. Updates from the world of sports, business. We'll also get you a web review. And when we talk of this morning, let's start it with this beautiful thought which comes in from Jonas Salk. He says, hope lies in dreams, the imagination and in the courage of those who dare to make dreams into reality. So it is a thought process. It is inside your thought process that where lies the optimism, where lies the positivity. And you have to take that through, not just through your day, but through your endeavors as well.
Absolutely. Being hopeful is the key, and being positive about everything that life brings to you on a daily basis is the key. Really, we'll get you all the updates like Preeti mentioned. We'll in fact also be telling you all about the Motera cricket stadium that will be inaugurated by the President today, and this is the largest cricket stadium in the world. We'll also get you all the updates as to how really India has called on the pre-2020 climate change commitments and all the updates on COVID-19 as well. But first, a look at the top stories.
President Ramnath Kovind to inaugurate Motera Cricket Stadium, the largest cricket stadium in the world today. The third test match between India and England to begin today in the stadium after the inauguration.
India calls on the countries to fulfill the pre-2020 climate change commitments. Representing India in the UNSC debate, the Union Minister Prakash Javadekar says India is the only country among the G20 nations to meet its climate change mitigation commitments.
Centre writes to 5 states and union territories where COVID-19 cases have shown a recent surge, asks these states to speed up vaccination process. ICMR says no direct relation between the recent surge in cases and N44QK and IE484Q mutant strains of the virus.
The Defence Acquisition Council approves the capital acquisition proposals worth 13,700 crore rupees. All these acquisitions to be designed, developed and manufactured indigenously.
BJP registers sweeping win in Gujarat Municipal elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says the result shows the faith of people towards politics of development and good governance.
Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme completes 2 years today. More than 11 crore farmers have benefited from the scheme so far. The scheme was started with the view to augment the income of the farmers by providing income support.
Golf legend Tiger Woods suffers serious injuries after his car involved in a rollover crash near Los Angeles. Authorities say the injuries are not believed to be life-threatening.
In sports news, in the UEFA Champions League round of 16, Chelsea and Bayern Munich register away wins in the first leg. Chelsea defeat Atletico Madrid for 1-0, while Bayern destroy Lazio for 1. Well, those were the top stories. Let's now get to the news in detail. Beginning first with India at the UNSC calling on the countries to fulfill the pre-2020 climate change commitments.
Let's get to the details now. Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change Prakash Javadekar addressed the UN Security Council open debate on maintenance of international peace and security, addressing climate-related risks to international peace and security. Now, this was the first instance when Sanskrit was used in context of climate change during a UNSC meeting. Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change Prakash Javadekar also said that donor countries should provide greater financial, technological and capacity building assistance to help fragile states to put in place the necessary adaptation and mitigation strategies to combat the impact of climate change.
To better integrate climate change adaptation and peace building, we would suggest the building of robust governance structure at the local, national, and regional levels to address climate and fragility-related risks. This not only improves public perception of government legitimacy, but also shores up capacity of states to address climate risks before they become fragile. Donor countries should provide greater financial, technological, and capacity building assistance to help fragile states to put in place necessary adaptation and mitigation strategies to combat the impact of climate change.
Javadekar also said that India is the only country on track among the G20 nations to meet its climate change mitigation commitments. He added that India is not only meeting its Paris Agreement targets but will exceed those. Javadekar also said that India currently has the fastest growing solar energy program in the world.
India is only country on track among the G20 nations to meet its climate change mitigation commitments. We are not only meeting our Paris Agreement's target, but will exceed them. India currently has the fastest growing solar energy program in the world. We have expanded access to clean cooking fuel to over 80 million households. This is among the largest clean energy drives globally. Our recent commitment of installing 450 gigawatts of renewable energy, elimination of single-use plastic, 100% railway electrification, and creation of an additional carbon sink by restoring 26 million hectares of degraded land, among other measures, have only added to our climate ambitions.
The minister also said that the impact of climate change and its associated security risks have important gender dimension. He added that there is an urgent need to promote and support the meaningful participation of women and marginalized groups in national level climate change policy and also planning processes.
The impacts of climate change and its associated security risks have important gender dimensions. Women and girls experience the interplay between climate change and the peace and security in direct and profound ways. Since women are often providers for the food, water, and energy for their families, they are likely to face increased challenges in accessing resources due to climate change. There is an urgent need to promote and support the meaningful participation of women and marginalized groups in the national level climate change policy and planning processes.
Now moving on, in the wake of the rising trend of COVID-19 cases observed in some districts in the states of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Chhattisgarh and the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the Additional Secretary in the Union Health Ministry, Dr. Manohar Agnani, in a letter has advised the concerned states and the Union Territories to expedite the vaccination of the healthcare and the frontline workers so as to confer immunity in the shortest possible time frame. Now, these states have also been asked to speed up the vaccination process. The step has to be taken as these healthcare and the frontline workers are also involved in containment, surveillance and management of COVID-19 cases.
Indian Council of Medical Research, that is ICMR, has said that there is no direct relation between the recent surge in COVID-19 cases in Maharashtra and some other states with the mutant virus strains N44OK and E484Q of COVID-19. This was clarified by Dr. Balram Bhargav, Director General ICMR, at the weekly press conference on COVID-19 on Tuesday. DG ICMR further clarified that these two virus strains have been detected in other countries as well and are not specific to India. Moreover, they have been found earlier in some states in India. The E484Q strain was earlier detected in 4 sequences in Maharashtra as early as March and July 2020. The N440K mutation has been reported on 13 different occasions between May and September 2020 in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Assam. The current upsurge in Maharashtra cannot be attributed to the currently discussed point mutations. However, the situation is being constantly monitored. As further scientific evidence emerges, it shall be duly shared. In India's largest vaccination program, so far more than 1.19 crore COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered. 1.61 lakh vaccine doses have been given till 6 p.m. on Tuesday, and 63,458 healthcare workers received the second dose of vaccine yesterday. And joining us for more on this is our correspondent Shishir from Mumbai. Shishir, good morning to you. We've given clarification which has been put forward by the ICMR with regard to the suspected new mutants of the virus, which could be seen due to the surge in Maharashtra. Let us know the current situation there to begin with.
Well, absolutely, Preeti. If you look at the numbers, especially in Maharashtra, are increasing day by day. Here, if you look at those numbers compared to last month here, probably we have seen the rise of almost 50 to 70% in those numbers. On the positive side, the fatality rate have actually not crossed the mark the way the positive rate is increasing day by day in Maharashtra. So far, yesterday, we've got the latest number according to which nearly 6,200 people, the cases have been found positive in entire Maharashtra, and nearly 5,800 people got the discharge yesterday itself. Well, these numbers we compared to the 1st February, the numbers were almost around in the range of 2,000 to 3,000 per day cases, but now we have seen that numbers completely rising in Maharashtra, and particular pockets in Maharashtra. If you look at the Vidarbha region and Marathwada region, these are the hotspot, becoming hotspot of the corona here, especially the Vidarbha, the Yavatmal region, the Amravati region, Washim district. These are the areas where numbers are rising day by day, and that's the reason the local authorities have actually imposed a partial lockdown in this entire region. So far, there is no complete lockdown in the state, in any district. The information we got from the sources and then from the state government as well. The partial lockdown have been imposed at some places in Maharashtra. Obviously, as far as the important cities are concerned, for example, Mumbai, Pune, Nasik, Thane, Navi Mumbai, these are the cities. Even in these cities also, the numbers are rising day by day, and that's the reason the local authorities, the municipal corporation, have taken a very strong action against those people who will not wear the mask here. And of course, social distancing is what the most important thing. Yesterday, Chief Minister had a meeting with all the officials in Maharashtra, and have also appealed to the centre that if they could change the office timings, because that could be the probably solution, that we may find that the crowding at places will be reduced here, especially in the public area also, and in the office also. And that's the reason Maharashtra government have requested Niti Aayog also in the meeting a couple of days back, that if the state government and centre government could change the timing of the office goers, and probably that will help also to reduce the numbers here. So obviously, the municipal corporation, on the other hand, has taken and deployed the marshal at various locations in Mumbai. The crowding places, the railway stations, the bus stations also. This marshal keep a check on whether people have been following the appropriate COVID behavior or not, and if not, they are penalizing also the people. What the news we got from the Mumbai itself, nearly lakhs of rupees have been collected, in terms of fines from these people who are not wearing masks. So obviously, authorities have pulled up their socks and quite vigilant also at the same time, and the state government is asking people to follow all the SOPs, which is important for the COVID.
Okay. All right, Shishir, thanks very much for joining us for the moment and putting in these developments into perspective for us as far as the COVID situation there in Maharashtra is concerned, and all the measures that are being taken to contain the situation arising due to a surge in the COVID-19 cases. And moving on now, President Ramnath Kovind will today inaugurate the Motera Cricket Stadium in Ahmedabad in the presence of the Union Home Minister Amit Shah. The Sardar Patel Motera Stadium will soon become the top and the largest cricket stadium in the world. Now located in Sabarmati, Ahmedabad, the Motera Stadium is equipped with the new decorations and the latest facilities. Let's take a look at its history and the key facts about Motera Stadium in our report.
When we talk about cricket stadiums around the globe, we talk about Lord's for its history, the MCG for its grandeur. But have you ever wondered where is the largest cricket stadium? Yes, it's here, right in Gujarat's Motera. The Motera Cricket Stadium has become the largest cricket stadium in the globe.
Cricket is not just a game in India, but a religion where cricketers are demigods and fans, their devout followers. And thus the question arises, shouldn't this cricket-crazy country deserve to have the largest cricket stadium in the world? Well, why not? Behold the magnificent and colossal stadium in Motera that has put Ahmedabad right at the center of the cricketing world. Located near the banks of Sabarmati River, Motera Stadium sprawls over 63 acres of land and has a seating capacity of more than 110,000, leaving Australia's Melbourne cricket ground behind, which can accommodate 90,000 spectators. The plan to reconstruct the refurbished stadium started in 2015 when Gujarat Cricket Association, under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, decided to reconstruct the stadium and make it the largest cricket stadium in the world. This is in addition to the outdoor practice pitches and 2 practice grounds with small pavilion area. It also boasts of a clubhouse, an indoor cricket academy with a dormitory and an Olympic-sized swimming pool. The stadium houses 14 dressing rooms with associated facilities. Interestingly, no other stadium has this facility.
Total cost of project is 750 crore, but as far as BCCI is concerned, BCCI has a infrastructure policy. So as per that infrastructure policy, BCCI disbursed 100 crore rupees to this stadium, and right now we are at comfortable position.
The academies would give a huge boost to Gujarat's potential in sports other than cricket. The new look Sardar Patel Stadium in Motera's newly installed LED floodlights will eliminate shadows, making it easier to spot the aerial balls. With all its grandeur and facilities, Motera has already made it to the history books. But come Wednesday, the newly constructed stadium will be instrumental in setting yet another history.
And to get us more on that, our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya is joining us.
Yes, absolutely. Let's go across to Tapash. Tapash, good morning. This is being considered the quintessential milestone for India. The Motera Cricket Stadium, the world's largest cricket stadium, the Motera Stadium. Just put this into perspective for us, the significance of today's event that we'll all see take place this noon when President will be inaugurating the Motera Cricket Stadium. And then, of course, the match taking place.
Right, so good morning to both Nancy and Preeti. Yes, this is the largest cricket stadium, and today on 24th of this month, President Ramnath Kovind will be inaugurating this particular stadium at Motera, and that's one of the reasons why everybody is very excited out here. This stadium, it took some time to build. It was the vision of former CM and current Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and after that the former president of Gujarat Cricket Association Amit Shah, and in that sense this is a dream come true for a lot of people who work tirelessly day and night for this particular stadium to be rebuilt, to be renovated, and that's one of the reasons why you can see now that today, once this stadium will be inaugurated by President Ramnath Kovind around 12 o'clock, one will a lot will culminate the whole idea, couple of years of work that has gone in making this particular stadium. And as I have already mentioned in the report, that this particular stadium has a lot of features which are world class in itself, and apart from the fact that it has got LED lights at the top of the stadium, which actually gives you a fabulous experience while watching the match, especially in the day night. And also for the spectators, in any stadium one gets to have a hindrance in the view, but this is one of those very few stadiums where even if you are sitting anywhere in any particular in any particular area of the stadium, you get to see 360-degree view of the whole oval, and that's one of the reasons why this gives a whole new meaning to spectators' comfort in stadium. Apart from that, for players' perspective, for groundsman perspective, you got all the world-class facilities. This particular stadium has got 11 pitches right at the center, which I mean, in this is unheard of in India, especially. So if you have a double-decker matches, or if you have a series going on in particular stadium for a long time, this stadium does not have any issue. It can accommodate a series, it can accommodate a double-decker matches. This stadium also has 4 dressing rooms, which is again a novelty in a stadium in the country.
and never one has four dressing rooms, and that's one of the reason why in this particular stadium you can easily host 2 IPL matches, 2 T20 matches, double-decker matches, which is right now a norm in many countries. So overall, one could say that this stadium has all the world-class facilities which a stadium of this stature should have.
All right, interesting facts put forth by you, Tapas. But very quickly, I would also want a word from you on the test match that will be, played here soon after the inauguration. This will be the 3rd test match, the 3rd encounter of India with the pink ball. Let us know what can be expected. How do we expect the day to unfold?
Right. So, let's say 2:30 around, the match will kick start at this particular stadium, and it is expected that the pitch is going to assist the spinners. But how much that's going to be a major factor, that we'll get to know later on as the match progresses. Apart from that, the major factor will be the toss. Whosoever wins the toss will like to bat first and score big runs in the first innings and put the opposition under some sort of trouble in their first innings. So that's going to be another crucial factor at this particular stadium, in this particular match. The thing that we will be looking forward to is the team composition and how they will go about it, and that's something that both the teams are quite keen to take a look at. As of now, what one believe is that the Indian team has put a lot of effort in their slip catching, as well as especially catching at the back. Remember, during the twilight or during the evening time, when the natural light goes down and the stadium lights takes over, sighting the ball does become a little difficult, and that's one of the reason why Indian team put in extra effort to make sure that they do not drop any catches, and they worked really hard on their slip fielding.
All right, Tapas, thank you so much for joining us with those inputs. We'll come back to you again during the day once the program begins there. So that was our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya telling us more about the salient features of this quintessential stadium, which is the largest cricket stadium in the world, the Motera Stadium. The President will be inaugurating the Motera Stadium, and soon after that we will see the 3rd test match between India and England take place. We'll keep you updated. Let's change track now. Let's get to other news. The Defence Acquisition Council has approved capital acquisition proposals of various weapons, platforms, equipment, systems required by Army, Navy and Air Force. Now, three acceptance of necessities for an overall cost of Rs 13,700 crore were accorded by the DAC under chairmanship of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. All these acquisition proposals will be indigenously designed, developed and manufactured. Now, these will include inter-alia platforms and systems designed and developed by Defence Research and Development Organisation. To meet Atmanirbhar Bharat goals of the Government of India on time-bound defence procurement process and faster decision-making, and to systematically work towards reducing the time taken for capital acquisition, the DAC also approved that all capital acquisition contracts, that is delegated and non-delegated, other than the D&D cases, shall be concluded in 2 years. The Ministry, in consultation with services and all stakeholders, will come up with detailed plan of action for achieving the same.
Now, Bharatiya Janata Party has swept 6 out of 6 municipal corporation seats in Gujarat. Prime Minister Modi said the results of the municipal elections across the state clearly show the unwavering faith the people have towards the politics of development and good governance. Here's more.
The election results of municipal corporations in Gujarat has once again stamped the popularity of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and unflinching faith of the voters towards politics of development adopted by his government. Bharatiya Janata Party has registered landslide victories at all 6 municipal corporations in Gujarat. Polling for 576 seats was held on February 21, and BJP has registered victory at more than 80% seats. On the other hand, Congress has emerged as a top loser, and it has been restricted to only 7 to 8% seats in this election. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed happiness over BJP's victory in polls. In a tweet, Prime Minister said that today's win across Gujarat is very special. For a party that is serving in a state for over 2 decades, to record such a phenomenal win is noteworthy. It is heartening to see widespread support from all sections of society, particularly the youth of Gujarat towards BJP. While Home Minister Amit Shah also expressed happiness over BJP's victory.
मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में जो विकास की यात्रा चली थी उसको भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने आज भी चालू रखा है और आज जो परिणाम आए हैं वो गुजरात में अब तक के सबसे अच्छे परिणामों में से एक परिणाम है। जितनी भी सीटें भारतीय जनता पार्टी लड़ी, जितनी भी सीटें हैं उसमें लगभग 85% सीटें भारतीय जनता पार्टी जीती हैं और कांग्रेस पार्टी बुरी तरह से इस चुनाव में हारी है।
While expressing gratitude to the people of the state for their support, BJP National President JP Nadda said that BJP's historic win in Gujarat is a victory of people's unwavering faith in public welfare and development-oriented politics of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. I thank the people of the state for their continued faith in BJP. BJP is set to have its mayors in Ahmedabad, Surat, Bhavnagar, Jamnagar, Rajkot and Vadodara. The poll results clearly prove that the people have once again reposed their faith in BJP. Bureau Report, DD India.
Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana completes 2 years today. More than 11.12 crore farmers have benefited from the scheme so far. The scheme was formally launched on 24th of February 2019 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh. The scheme was started with a view to augment the income of the farmers by providing income support of 6,000 rupees in 3 tranches every year to the beneficiaries. The scheme covers all landholding farmers' families across the country, irrespective of the size of their landholdings. However, affluent farmers have been excluded from the scheme, such as income taxpayers in last assessment year, professionals like doctors, engineers, lawyers, chartered accountants, etc., and pensioners drawing at least 10,000 rupees per month. PM Kisan enables farmers to take care of expenses related to agriculture and allied activities, as well as domestic needs. Prime Minister has declared that all Kisan beneficiaries will be given Kisan credit card so that they can take easy loans from banks. Pradhan Mantri Kisan mobile app was also launched to provide farmers access to information about the status of their application, as well as check the history of credits to their bank accounts.
And moving on now to some good news from the northeast, where a total of 1,040 members of the 5 insurgent outfits joined the mainstream as they laid down their arms at an arms laying down ceremony held in Guwahati yesterday. Now, the 5 insurgent groups, the PDCK, the KLNLF, KPLT, KLF and the UPLA were operating in the Assam's hill districts of Karbi Anglong and the West Karbi Anglong. Now, with the introduction of the policy Santrasht Mukt Asham by the BJP-led Assam government, the 3-pronged strategy of the unified command structure of the relentless CI operation, the peace process and the surrender come rehabilitation, the extremist-related violence has come down in the state. Now, under this scheme, each member will receive 6,000 rupees per month as stipend and one-time grant money of 4 lakh rupees at the end of 3 years subject to good behavior. And let's now go across to our correspondent Kamal Bora, who's joining us with more updates on this story coming in from the northeast. Kamal, this is indeed a very encouraging, motivating trend that's been taking place in the northeast, wherein, of course, the groups there, the militant groups, they're surrendering and working in tandem, in line with the government's policies. In fact, also working on their rehabilitation.
Yes, Nancy, first of all, indeed it's a huge achievement for the state government as well as central government because we have seen that from the very beginning when NDA government came to power in 2014, and from that period only the central government is implementing their zero tolerance policy against terrorism, against this insurgent group. So since then only, it's a process started by state government also along with the central government. They have started very many insurgent operations in the state. Not only Assam, in the adjoining areas, also in the bordering areas, also in Arunachal, in Nagaland, wherever these insurgent groups belong to Assam, they are using those areas as their own area, as their operating areas. And central government has been, initiating this sort of insurgent operations against those, insurgent group with a zero tolerance policy. And from then only, the state government as well as central government is, having a lot of achievement. Last year also, we have seen that during the BTR Accord, peace process was signed between NDA sections up to and the central government. That time also, we have seen that 1,600 rebels, they surrendered their arms, they laid down their arms before state government. And after that, this year, this is another huge achievement for the state government. And I'd like to say that IK Sangbijit, who was leading the NDAB group earlier, but it was surrendered in the last 2020, and he then again started a new insurgency group in Karbi Anglong, and he also came to mainstream this year. So it's a huge achievement because he was one of the major concern for the both state and central government. And right now, with his surrendering, definitely we can say that Assam has moved ahead with this peace process, and permanent peace is going to prevail because there are only very less concern about the insurgency group right now. Only Alpha. This is the major concern for the state government, and the state government is also trying to bring them also to the mainstream. So, but before that, I would like to say that yesterday's surrendering ceremony is a huge achievement, and definitely we have seen that it's a huge progress because during this present state government, we have seen that no huge incident took place. Only 2014, only one incident took place against an NDAB group led by IK Sangbijit. They started operations against this common people. And that time, when NDA government came to power, Rajnath Singh was the Home Minister. He came to Assam, and from that period only, with the unified command structure, insurgent operations were started, and since then it's been continuing. And with this, hitting out against the insurgency group, they are, they were becoming helpless, and they have started coming to mainstream. And today also, as part of that, as a part of that, in a process only, this group have joined the mainstream.
All right, so there's a fall in the cases of insurgency there, Kamal. Added to that, also more than 1,000 members of insurgent outfits have laid down their arms. Indeed, this is a welcome move there. But now the thrust or the focus from here on would be on their rehabilitation. Let us know, has any plan been put forth, has any strategy been put forth by the administration there to ensure their rehabilitation? Or you just also told us that earlier also there were cases wherein members of insurgent groups laid down their arms. Take us through what does the administration plan for their rehabilitation from here on?
See, regarding that case, I would like to say that yesterday only Chief Minister Sarabanda Sonowal has ensured that whoever have surrendered, they will be, given an opportunity to live a respectful life, and they will also be given, all the facilities, whatever they want. Right now, the stipend already you have mentioned that the stipend of 6,000 rupees will be given to those, and they will be given a chance to, to walk on from now onward, live a very happy and wealthy life. And the government will give all sort of support they have assured yesterday itself. And they have CM also have highlighted that the Karbi Anglong, the West Karbi Anglong and Karbi Anglong, from these two districts only, these 5 groups belongs to, and these two districts are very naturally rich, and it's a very potential district to be self-employed, to be self-dependent. So they will be given all these opportunities to live a happy life, to use those opportunities to use that potentiality of those districts. So government has assured all sort of support, rehabilitation, stipend, and also to giving an opportunity to live a happy and respectful life.
Right. Okay. Sure. All right, Kamal Bola, thanks very much for joining us and sharing all those details. As far as the arms laying down ceremony there in Guwahati is concerned, and over 1,000 militant outfits have surrendered their arms there in that ceremony. Let's move on now to our next segment and get you all the news from around the world in across the globe.
US golfer Tiger Woods was hospitalized on Tuesday after a car crash in which his vehicle sustained major damage. Woods was the sole occupant of the car when it crashed. The rollover crash near Los Angeles did not involve any other vehicle. Woods was at the Rivera Country Club in Los Angeles at the weekend as host of Genesis Invitational Tournament. And according to police, the injuries of Woods were not believed to be life-threatening as he was conscious and able to communicate when rescue personnel arrived. Woods, one of the most successful golfers of all times, has won 15 major golf championships. He recently underwent his 5th back surgery and said that he was uncertain if he will be able to play at the upcoming Masters, which he last won in 2019.
Now, French President Emmanuel Macron, in fact, said that the UNSC should consider appointing a special envoy for climate security to coordinate efforts against climate change. During his speech at a virtual meeting of the 15-member Council on the Climate-Related Risks to International Peace and Security, Macron described the fight against climate change and environmental protection as full-fledged security issue.
More than 15,000 people have been displaced due to heavy flooding in Peru's eastern Motera region. As many as 1,500 homes have been damaged and are without electricity and running water. The region has been lashed with torrential rains in recent days, causing rivers to break their banks, flooding homes and causing major infrastructure damage. Peruvian government has declared a state of emergency in the Amazon region that borders Bolivia and Brazil.
Now, a meteor brightened up the sky as it passed over the Canadian province of Alberta on Monday. The blast was so huge that it could be seen from the tip of the US border all the way up into the Arctic Circle. The American Meteor Society said the brighter the fireball, the more rare is the event. Meteors, or the shooting stars, are the visible parts of meteoroids that have entered the Earth's atmosphere at high velocities.
In Niger, ruling party candidate Mohamed Bazoum has been declared the winner of presidential election. Bazoum, a 61-year-old former interior minister, won 55.75% of the vote in Sunday's election, according to the Electoral Commission. He beat Mahamane Osmane, a former president who was toppled by a coup in 1996. The provisional results must still be confirmed by the Constitutional Court. At a celebration rally, Bazoum promised that he would be people's loyal servant.
And now let's move on, take a look at all the updates on the COVID-19 pandemic from across the world. As of now, more than 11 crore 26 lakh COVID-19 cases have so far been reported worldwide. The global death toll due to COVID-19 has surpassed 24 lakh and stands at over 24 lakh 95,000. Over 8 crore 82 lakh people have also recovered from the virus. The US still continues to remain the worst hit country by the global pandemic. The US has so far reported over 2 crore 88 lakh cases of the virus, with the death toll due to the virus surging over 5 lakh 14,000.
The Asian Development Bank, that is the ADB, is working with the government of Bangladesh for providing a $940 million assistance to purchase COVID-19 vaccines. And according to the official news agency, this was discussed during the courtesy call of the ADB country director for Bangladesh, Manmohan Prakash, with Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in Dhaka on Tuesday. The ADB country director also praised the handling and management of the COVID-19 pandemic by Bangladesh. He appreciated the decision in opening all the sectors of the economy in phases, which has restored normalcy in Bangladesh economy. Manmohan Prakash also said that Bangladesh is one of the 3 countries in Asia which is successfully conducting the COVID-19 vaccination campaign.
Now, Londoners on Tuesday said they supported the slow and cautious approach to easing England's COVID-19 restrictions outlined by Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Johnson, who's under pressure to allow more freedom to millions of people stuck at home and offer hope to shuttered businesses, said the first stage of dismantling the lockdown would be to prioritize schools returning on the 8th of March. Johnson also said that minimal socializing outdoors would also be allowed from that date, with further social contact permitted from 29th March before the second step is introduced on 12th of April.
The French researchers are using tiny antibody particles extracted from the family of animals that includes camels and llamas to produce a test that can be used on a smartphone, which they say can detect if patients have COVID-19 faster and more accurately than the existing methods. The prototype test, called Cordial 1 has not been approved for use, but initial trials on 300 samples showed a 90% accuracy rate as compared to a polymerase chain reaction test, the most reliable commonly used method for detecting COVID-19. A Cordial 1 test uses antibody fragments called nanobodies. Now, they are derived from camelids, a group that includes camels, dromedaries, llamas and alpacas because they are more stable than antibodies from other creatures. The prototype test can deliver results within 10 minutes and can be used outside the labs, according to the team developing it, while PCR testing typically takes hours and needs lab conditions. The next phase of the project is to run a 3-month trial on more than 1,000 people.
Now, the World Bank threatened to suspend its multi-million-dollar financing for Lebanon's COVID-19 vaccination drive on Tuesday over politicians jumping the line. The controversy, which echoed favoritism by elites in other countries as the world rushes to inoculate against COVID-19, added to frustration among the Lebanese over delays and violations in the vaccination campaign. While this came after local media and politicians said that some lawmakers got shots in parliament on Tuesday, despite not necessarily being in the priority groups. The World Bank's reallocation of $34 million has enabled Lebanon to receive its first 2 batches of about 60,000 Pfizer-BioNTech doses this month. The bank said it would monitor the vaccine rollout and warn against favoritism in Lebanon, where decades of waste and corruption brought a financial meltdown and protests.
Senegal began inoculating its population against COVID-19 on Tuesday. The government ministers and health workers were at the front of the queue as Senegal began its vaccination campaign. The West African country is one of the first in the region to begin inoculating its population, having received 200,000 doses from China's Sinopharm. The country aims to immunize 3.5 million of its 16 million people, with 90% of those vaccinations delivered by the end of the year. Senegal is eligible for doses through the World Health Organization's COVAX distribution program and can also get shots from the African Union. All right, time now to get to Web Review, wherein a colleague joins us every day to get us the headlines which have been put forth by various social media platforms.
And let's now go across to Amrit. Amrit, good morning. Just take us through what all the news items have you selected from the World Wide Web for our viewers this morning?
Good morning, Nancy and Priti. I choose to lead with the story that the Tribune has put out prominently on its pages. It says, as COVID cases spike in Punjab, CM orders curbs on indoor-outdoor gathering from March 1st. after other state governments like Maharashtra, where COVID cases are on the rise, Punjab also is seeing a rise of COVID cases. Captain Amrinder Singh, the Punjab Chief Minister, took a meeting yesterday of all the district commissioners and the police and municipal authorities and asked them to act tough on those violating the COVID protocols to contain the spike in the cases. He's ordered a restriction of indoor gatherings to 100 and outdoor gatherings to 200 from March 1st, along with strict enforcement of mask, social distancing, etc., and with testing to be ramped up to 30,000 a day. There are 3 districts in Punjab where the central government has written to the Punjab government that there is an unprecedented spike in cases there and they need to be contained. After the Chief Minister convened this meeting, he authorized the district commissioners or the district magistrates to impose night curfew in hotspots in the districts if required, with a micro-containment strategy to be adopted. And he also asked the police and the excise authorities to enforce strictly wearing of masks and monitoring of all restaurants, marriage palaces, etc. Well, the other story that's made it to the headlines that I've led with is from the Hindustan Times. It says India hasn't changed its mind on Chinese investment, will make no exception, officials. Now, this is a source-based story. After a Reuters story appeared that India is looking at clearing Chinese investment proposals, even as the disengagement process at the embassy goes on. The Hindustan Times puts out the story, not naming officials, but quoting them, saying that India is not considering any proposal to allow Chinese companies to invest in India. Also, there is no decision taken to revoke the ban on Chinese apps that was imposed last year. And they said that this report comes against the backdrop of easing of tensions due to the disengagement at Pangong So and the other friction points that was agreed at the 10th Corps Commander level meeting, which took place a few days ago. The officials are quoted as saying that the Reuters report is factually incorrect. The government hasn't cleared any investment of China at any level. Only 3 foreign investment proposals were cleared. One is from Hong Kong, the other are from 2 Japanese companies, and the third one is a non-resident Indian group. They've quoted the official, the paper quotes the official as saying. The other story is from the Times of India. It says Canada's parliament passes motion saying China's treatment of Uyghurs is genocide. Now, the Canadian Parliament yesterday passed a non-binding motion saying that China's treatment of its Uyghur Muslims who live in the Xinjiang province, are mostly concentrated in the Xinjiang province, amounts to genocide. Now, Liberal Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government did not vote for it, but the opposition did. The Conservatives, rival Conservatives did, putting the pressure on the Trudeau government to act tough on China. This was the cabinet had abstained from the vote, but some liberal backbenchers had widely backed the proposal. Clearly, the pressure is building on Prime Minister Trudeau to act up on China. There's been a spat going on between China and Canada since Huawei's chief financial officer was arrested in 2018 in Canada on a US warrant. And in response to that, the Chinese arrested 2 Canadian citizens on charges of spying. So basically the pressure building on Prime Minister Trudeau to act up on China. The other stories from the CNBC, it says Microsoft-owned LinkedIn goes down for some users. Now, LinkedIn, the business social network site, ran into some technical issues yesterday during US business hours, leading people to post about their troubles accessing LinkedIn website and app. Of late, LinkedIn has become, especially during the pandemic, pandemic has come to play a key role, especially in e-learning for people. Microsoft's CEO Satya Nadella had last month told analysts that suddenly during the pandemic, the LinkedIn Learning service had doubled over the year in fourth quarter, especially in the pandemic. The LinkedIn plays a key role for recruiters, job seekers, salespeople, and marketers to rely on it to display their advertisements to users. So for it going down for some hours, though now it has been restored, did affect some users. The Mint carries a story. Elon Musk loses world's richest title. One tweet cost him $15 billion. Now, Tesla CEO Musk slipped to the #2 spot on Bloomberg's list of the world's richest person. His net worth was reduced by a whopping $15.2 billion in a day. And the Tesla shares had slipped by 8.6% on Monday. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has again come back to the list as the richest person in the world. They've been swapping positions in the last 1 year due to shares of companies getting affected. Now, this is being attributed to one tweet that Musk had commented upon the prices of Bitcoin and Ether, saying that they do seem high, the cryptocurrency. Though Musk's Tesla had announced added $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin to its balance sheet, but Musk saying that the price does seem too high, affected its shares apparently. And also, it's also being attributed to another comment that he made on Twitter, saying that the Y model of the SUV range of Tesla will still be available offline, though it doesn't meet the company's high standards of excellence.
Okay.
So that is they cost him some money.
Right.
So that's what's made it to the web review. Back to you, Nancy and Preeti.
All right, Amrit, thanks very much for joining us for the moment and bringing to us all the news from the World Wide Web this morning. With that, let's move on now to our next segment and get you all the news from the world of sports in Sports Track.
Yes.
And news now from the world of football. In the UEFA Champions League round of 16, the English club Chelsea and the German champions Bayern Munich registered their win in the first leg. Both the sides won the first leg in away matches. Chelsea defeated La Liga table toppers Atletico Madrid for 1-0. The French striker Olivier Giroud scored the winning goal for the Blues with a spectacular bicycle kick. Now both the clubs will meet again in the second leg on the 18th of March at the Stamford Bridge. And Bayern Munich destroyed Italian side Lazio with a stunning 4-1 victory at the Lazio home Stadio Olimpico. Robert Lewandowski, Jamal Musiala and Leroy Sané scored for the German side, while Francisco Acerbi scored an own goal in the Lazio post. Joaquin Correa scored the only goal for Lazio. The second leg between these teams will take place on 18th March at the Allianz Arena.
And every day we get you a health tip to make sure that you remain in good health and spirits. And let's see what do we have in store today in our health segment. Blindness may occur due to many causes. Let's find out what factors can affect our sight and vision and how can we take care of our eyes and ensure sight prevention.
A large number of people around the world have preventable vision impairment. Reduced and absent eyesight can have major and long-lasting effects on all aspects of life, including daily personal activities, interacting with communities, school and work opportunities.
Children are particularly prone to eye injuries, so take good care that they are supervised and avoid playing with any sharp or dangerous objects such as firecrackers or holy colors, chemicals, and so on. For those crossing the age of 40, the eyes also need special care. If you have a family history of glaucoma or you're suffering from diabetes, you need to go regularly to the eye specialist every year to just check that your eyes are healthy, and in case you're developing a problem, then it can be treated at the right time. If you have any drop in vision, it could be the beginning of a cataract, and that can be cured by a simple surgery.
It is important to know about the preventable causes of blindness. Reduced eyesight can be caused by several factors, including diseases like diabetes, trauma to the eyes, or conditions like refractive errors, cataracts, age-related macular degeneration, or glaucoma. Visual impairment is avoidable, treatable, and preventable in almost 80% cases. The majority of people with vision impairment are over the age of 50 years. However, vision loss can affect people of all ages. Taking precautions and timely treatment of the eye ailments may help to prevent vision loss and protect your sight.
Our vision is a precious gift. Take good care of it, be aware, be smart, and protect your eyesight. Kiran Bhardwaj, DD News.
Yes, be aware, be smart, and protect your eyesight. That was the health tip of the day. Up next, we get to the events which made this day special in history.
It was on this day in 1739 that the Battle of Karnal was fought between the forces of Nadir Shah, an Iranian invader, and Muhammad Shah, the Mughal emperor. The Mughals suffered a decisive defeat. It was on this day in 1924 that legendary Hindi singer known as the King of Ghazals, Talat Mahmood, was born in Lucknow. It was on this day in 1939 that veteran Bollywood actor Joy Mukherjee, star of several hits in the 1960s and 70s, was born in Jhansi. It was on this day in 1986 that Rukmini Devi Arundale, famous Indian dancer and choreographer of the classical dance form of Bharatnatyam, died in Chennai. It was on this day in 1948 that former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu and leader of AIADMK party, J. Jayalalitha, was born near Mysore state, now in Karnataka. It was on this day in 2010 that Sachin Tendulkar became the first batsman to score a double hundred in a men's one-day international match against South Africa at Captain Roop Singh Stadium in Gwalior.
And let's now move on, take a look at the weather conditions for today. Under the influence of the western disturbance as a trough in the mid-tropospheric levels, roughly along and a fresh feeble western disturbance as a trough to the north of latitude, well, fairly widespread rainfall, very likely over Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh, Gilgit, Baltistan and Muzaffarabad during the next 5 days. Isolated to scattered rainfall over Himachal Pradesh for the next 2 days and scattered to fairly widespread for subsequent 3 days, and isolated to scattered rainfall over Uttarakhand during the next 5 days. Isolated thunderstorm very likely over Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh, Gilgit, Baltistan and Muzaffarabad. Isolated hailstorm also very likely over Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh, Gilgit, Baltistan and Muzaffarabad. Isolated heavy rainfall very likely over Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh, Gilgit, Baltistan on 25th and 26th, and over Himachal Pradesh on the 26th. And let's now also take a look at the temperature in your city today.
Bye.